Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are back for our next match of the night. We are going into the Challenger League. We have the number 3 Orbit going up against the number 7 Drake's your boy Psychonautic in the booth, ready to bring you some of that sweet play-by-play action. I'm going to be joined by a very special person here tonight, Magic Poppy Pepperoni. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Long day of school, and it's no better way to cap it off than some Nemesis action in the semifinals. We're rounding the corner. We got grand finals on Saturday, but we have one more ticket to punch in the Challenger League with Venom waiting in the grand finals right now for the winner of this match right here. So the stakes are at an all-time high, and Orbit and Drake's they both want that ticket so badly.
Yeah, and Drake's making a great run at the playoffs so far. But real quick, before we get too deep into it, give a quick shout out to all the hype train riders that just transpired. Squirrel, 10 gifted subs. Speed, 10 gifted subs. Krippus, 8 gifted subs. Jaegers with 5. Green Glow with 5. Rockerman with 2. And Magic Pepperoni, you gave out 1. So a big shout out to everybody getting that hype train going, keeping it riding. Appreciate all the support here tonight.
Yeah, and you love to see all the support, especially with all the stakes as high as they are right now. I mean, the action it just keeps on rolling on our end, and it's really great to see the guys in the chat appreciating and giving back to the community. So thank you to everybody, and I'm pretty sure we'll have better than a 4-1 on our hands for this match right here.
Oh, most definitely. And if you want to throw up the playoff bracket real quick and take a look at what we saw previously, Drake's coming through Dissolve. Drake's actually coming through the play-ins, securing their spot against Dissolve, winning there and moving into the semifinals. And the odds are actually in favor of the Drakes, 55.7% against the Orbits, 44.3%, which is pretty interesting considering the Drakes are somewhat of an underdog here tonight, Magic Pepperoni.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. Orbit, I think they 3-0 Drakes last time they played, so
They did. They
I
did.
mean, unless I don't know something about the Drakes, maybe they're heating up because I mean, a lot of the the percentage comes from there's a lot of guys in the Challenger League that did their polls, and if they think the Drakes are looking better than their record shows in the regular season, I'm all for it because I am not looking forward to any kind of a sweep tonight. And from what I've heard, this has potential to go 7. There's a lot riding on this game for both teams, and they both need to win so desperately. So I'm excited to see who takes it.
Yeah, I would love to see a Game 7 come out from these two guys. They've both had such astounding seasons so far and playoff runs. And let me hear it from you real quick, Magic Pepperoni, as we get the players onto the field. Let me hear your caster prediction. Who's securing their spot against Venom here tonight?
I think Orbit's going to drop the first game, but I think they will close it out with a 4-2 victory. So I'm riding with the Orbit guys.
All right, you heard it here first. He thinks Orbit's going to take it, and we'll see if Drakes are able to upset Magic's prediction or if they play right into Magic's hands. Reed making a stop there as Pred gets a nice shot on net. Koala keeping the pressure up for the Drakes here. Diformia can't get it cleared out. Seuss and Pred both going for the same ball, sticking with it, trying to be aggressive, but it doesn't work out for him. DJD going to clear that ball away. Koala in the midfield, sends it back. Reed going to get dunked. The ball gets sent to the other side of the pitch. Pred 50 with DJD in the corner. Koala's up off the backboard. Seuss can't find the back of the net. His shot going to go wide as Diformia is going to try and clear that out. Pred's going to keep the pressure in Orbit's defensive zone. DJD gets demoed. Seuss can't find the back of the net, but Pred's going to help him out and clean things up. Drake's starting us off in game 1.
From the kickoff 1 to 1 minute through this game, it is nothing but pressure so far for the Drakes, and they finally capitalize with all the shots they've been having. 6 shots, and it finally finds the back of the net on that last one. I mean, early pressure is you love to see, especially with Orbit. That's my prediction. So, I mean, the Drakes, they're coming out hot.
They certainly are, and I feel like Orbit's game against, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, Ascension in the first round, they kind of started off a little bit slow, and it took them a game or two to sort of get geared up. But once Orbit started hitting, they just were unstoppable. Ascension could not pull it back from that point. So we'll see if Orbit is going to have a similar run here in the semifinals against the Drakes, or if the Drakes are going to be able to keep the pressure up enough to sort of smother Orbit and secure their spot in the grand finals against Venom.
Yeah,
Qual
and in that series, Ascension was up 2-0. So I hate to bring that back. Poor Jaeger's in the chat. I know he hates me for this, but Orbit likes to go down in these series. They like to go, take their early deficits, but they do seem to fight back a lot. Like, you know, I mean, you love to see teams that have the resilience to
Ooh.
fight back. Because Zeus, he's gonna keep that kind of going with another goal going against Orbit. So maybe the Drakes haven't figured out. Maybe it's Orbit doing what they love to do every series.
It's hard to tell. Drake's with a beautiful pass play, sending it all the way down to the other side of the net and getting the read to score the goal. 3 minutes left on the clock, and Drake's now up by 2. As Diformia going to take a shot on net, but Seuss gets in front of it, makes the stop. DJD out to the mid. Reed putting one off the backboard. Seuss to clear it away. As the ball bounces in Drake's territory, it comes out of the corner. Diformia is there. He puts a shot on, but Pred makes the save. And Koala out of the corner, pops it up. He's going to leave it. Seuss is there. A little bit awkward. Can't find the touch he's looking for. As DJD is going to clear it out. Pred in the midfield, trying to keep the pressure alive for Drakes. The ball's pinched all the way into the Drakes corner. Diformia putting one out mid. Nobody there to find the cross. Koala up, trying to follow the ball, not able to follow it out of the corner. Reed gets it through him. Diformia going to miss his touch. Reed trying to help him out. Pred out to the mid. Seuss can't get it past the defender. 2 minutes left on the clock here, and it doesn't seem, to me at least, Magic Pepperoni, that Orbit has gotten any more fire under their feet yet.
Yeah, and they're playing very slow pace. It's another missed touch right there. It leaves really an awkward situation, and TJD's gonna have to get the squishy save to keep the third one out of the back of the net. But defense is not what we need to see right now. We need to see some offensive pressure, because whenever they do get on the other side of the field, it's shots just like that. That's just light work for the goalie, and Pred is gonna pick up another free save on his stat line. And with a minute and a half left to go here, I mean, even if they don't win this game, I really want to see something from Orbit that shows signs of life.
Yeah, and I mean, Diformia is taking quite a few shots here, but he just seems to always shoot it. Oh, no. Sue's going to bounce that off of the top of Diformia's car and get a goal, and furthering their lead, the Drake's lead by 3 now.
And see, if that were on the other net, that'd have been on Twitter. But that is, I mean, it might find its way on Twitter either way for an own goal. You never know. But I mean, Diforme, he's so capable of making so much happen on offense. And if he can get something like that going the other way, I'm sure they'll be fine later as the series goes on. Ooh,
DJD comes in, finds one for himself, breathes a little life into the Orbit roster here. They got a minute and 11 seconds to find 2 more.
Yeah, and Pred was just frozen right there, and the fake comes through from Reed and DJD. He's so consistent with the shooting, and he's going to slot that one in and maybe give a little bit of hope in this game 1 for Orbit.
Quite possibly. It's going to be a tall order for them to come back at this point, but it is possible, and I would expect the number 3 Orbit of almost any team here in the Challenger League to be able to do it. As Koala is going to box out the offender there, drive him up the wall. Pred sends it out to the mid, trying to follow it. Has the 50 with Diformia, pinches to the other side. DJD can't beat out the Drake's offenders. Koala putting it to the mid, but it bounces off of Reed. Reed to follow, gets the clear all the way into the Drake's corner. Diformia putting it out in front of the mid. Nobody there to capitalize. DJD waiting for Koala's touch. Koala out of the corner. Seuss can't find what he's looking for. It pops up and into the other corner. Reed takes it slow. He gets it through Koala, but immediately demoed. Pred gets dunked by Diformia. Diformia with a second touch, trying to follow, but Seuss sends it all the way back. The final 15 seconds here, and it's looking like it's pretty impossible for Orbit to make a comeback at this point, Magic.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm worried in the sense that I didn't see almost any offense from Orbit, but I'm not as worried as, you probably expect when a team goes down 1-0 when they're supposed to be, the higher seed. Because, I mean, this is what Orbit does. They do not start off well in a lot of these series. They're a lot like, I mean, for Prospect, they're a lot like Origin. We saw it on stream. They dropped the first, they went down bad in the series, but they came back just fine. And I think that's a very similar play style to how Orbit plays. They let a lot of these games slip away early on. That's my prediction. I thought they would drop this first game, but I do expect them to bounce back and figure things out as the series goes on. I mean, I don't know if they take this next game. To be honest with you, I think Drake showed a lot of firepower, and they weren't really pressured at all on defense. But I do think the series will be a lot more interesting as it goes on.
Yeah, I fully agree. And Orbit did pick things up a little bit offensively, at least in the shot department. I think about halfway through the game, they only had about 3 shots on the net. They were able to double that by the end of the second half. So definitely not terrible, but like you said, um, expecting to see a little bit more out of the Orbit roster here tonight. But that first game, they are known, as you pointed out, they are known for sort of dropping the early games here, getting things going. I question though sometimes, this being the Challenger League, Pepperoni, that are they dropping the first games on purpose? Are they sort of playing slow on purpose to see what their opponents are coming with?
It's a little gentleman sweep action. You got to let the other team think they have hope. Even when they go down, it hurts even more for them. And I like to hope that's what Orbit's doing here, and that they have everything under control. But that game one did look very controlled by Drake's, and I hope we have more of it coming from that. It's a beautiful cut, almost gets a free net, and it's still dangerous as it's just chaos and Diformia
Oh,
is gonna dime up Pred in the top corner, and Drake's are rolling early.
that was almost the beautiful solo play from Koala. Still manages to get it down in front of the net. Diformia helping him out to his own dismay. And yeah, Drake's going to get the first one here again in game number 2. We'll see if we have a repeat of game number 1, or if Orbit is able to change things up a little bit here, shake it up on the offense. Diformia coming off the backboard, but Koala sends it away. Reed putting one down. It's going to be wide. Koala can't beat DJD to the ball. Diformia 50s can't get it through the defender. The ball pops up in front of the net. This was looking dangerous until Koala sent it to the side. Reed puts it out to the mid, and
Ooh.
DJD slots it past the defender.
He's right now the only guy scoring for this roster, and these goals are absolutely slotted. That is a great pass by Reed, though, to understand the situation that they're all kind of huddled in net. If you get that out to the midfield, there's nobody to cut it off. And great recognition. And DJD, he's showing the accuracy already in this series, and he's keeping Orbit's some momentum in the series right now.
Yeah, and Orbit's answering that
Oh
goal.
my
Oh
gosh.
my, Koala, what a banger.
He just slotted this shot. Oh my gosh, he could have shot that left corner and it would have, well, it might have been saved by the other goalie, but Diformia, there's nothing he can do there. That's just a bullet. And Koala, everybody in the Challenger League knows him for being an absolutely cracked player. He's very mechanical, but you don't have to be mechanical if you can just slot shots like that.
Exactly. Perfect placement from him. The only thing that would have been better would have been the actual top 90, but he did put it behind the defender. Seuss almost getting a backboard read, not able to make it go. Reed getting dunked by Koala. Diformia taking it away from him, putting it in the mid. Reed with a big demo on Pred. Koala going to follow suit and demo Diformia. Pred takes it out of the Drake's corner. Reed puts it back. Koala defends it away. Diformia missing his touch, leaves it for DJD. DJD misses his
Oh
touch,
no.
but Drake's looking like they were panicking a little bit there, but they're able to get the clear out. And we get closer and closer to the halfway point here in game number 2, Magic Pepperoni. The Orbit not doing as bad as they were in the first game, but still down.
Yeah, I think they've calmed down a good bit. I mean, it would be a tie game right now if Koala didn't just slot top 90s every time. So right now, it's a very even game, especially compared to game one. But I'm loving how scrappy these teams are getting, going for the demos. I mean, when grand finals is on the line, just on Saturday, you'll do anything, and they're getting all the demos they need. As chaos has been popping up in front of the net for the Drakes, as they've been in a lot of sticky situations, but they are holding on to this one goal lead.
Certainly are, but
Oh
no
no!
longer. Koala just can't make the save. Diformia's shot going to bounce off the post and into the net.
I was about to compliment Koala for his stellar defensive positioning, but you might want to position yourself in the way of the ball before it ends up in the back of your net. He can shoot and he can save, but not that time around, as that one does sneak in.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure if he was expecting a shot to come on net as he jumped off that backboard there. It happens to the best of us. But all they can do is go next, recover. This is a tie ball game now, as we are now in the second half of game number 2 in this best of 7 series. It looked like it could have been a shot for the Drakes, but the shot goes wide. DJD up in the midfield, puts it down, looking for Diformia. Diformia to send it forward. But Koala takes it away, trying to get it out. 50s with Reed goes in his favor, but Diformia is there to put it back up. And Pred with the big clear off of the back wall, all the way back into Orbit's defensive zone. DJD to send it down. Pred pops it off the top of his car, leaves it for Seuss. Seuss gets it a 50 with Reed. Koala gets it, I guess, a 50. It looks like it went in favor of the Drakes there, but sort of bounced off of one of Orbit's cars. There's Reed. He's up. He's trying to fall off the backboard. Pred clears it out. Diformia back to DJD. Pops it up. DJD looking to follow. He finds the demo on Koala, but can't touch the ball. Diformia puts it down. Pred is up for the save. And we are almost down to the final minute of this tied ball game here, Magic Pepperoni. And Orbit, I mean, doing a lot better, but do you think that they have the edge, or do you think that Drake still have the edge at this point?
I think Drake's giving Orbit way too much space to work with in the midfield. They're kind of huddling back towards their net, as that one is almost on target. What you can see is just no midfield presence as shots keep coming on through. And DJD is going to slot in his 3rd of the match, and he gives Orbit a crucial lead.
And that is the Orbit we've been waiting for, or at least we were waiting for in game number 1. We're seeing the pressure start to come alive in these guys' eyes here as they now take the lead. 41 seconds left on the clock, looking to tie up the series here. Orbit. DJD leaves it for Koala. Seuss gets the touch off the backboard. Diformia is there to send it away to the side. Final 30 seconds. A 50 in the backfield. DJD sends it all the way down. Koala out of the corner. DJD missing his touch. Seuss gets it through the midfield. Seuss pass Reed off the backboard. Open net, and Koala gonna smash that one in and tie us up at 3.
I know one person got demoed. Yeah, Reed, you can see him respawning there, but I think the last two just got completely beat. Zeus pops it over, and that's just an open net, and that really cannot afford to happen, especially in the last 20 seconds with your first game victory on the line. So unless Orbit could show me something in OT, I feel like the Drakes might have finally figured out their way to find the back of the net here.
Quite possibly. We'll have to see as Reed's going to put one on. What a pass play coming out from Orbit.
I mean, maybe it's Orbit that figured out how to score the ball because, I mean, they sold out everybody. Diformia, he's up too, but he sees that ball is not for him. That's for Reed, and Reed finally gets involved with the shooting as he gets his first shot on, and it is in the back of the net with 6 seconds left to go.
You love to see it. A top-notch challenger play right there to take the lead in the final seconds of the game. Diformia gonna find one for the road and send Orbit to 5 goals.
It's a backward shot. You can see the mechanics, the complete car control. He knows what he's doing right there. He doesn't have to be facing the ball as he just puts that one in the back of the net while I'm even facing the goal. And that just shows a little bit of confidence. Orbit, they're feeling themselves now. I mean, I kind of expected them to drop that first game, and I do expect them to get rolling now, and that's kind of the trend we're seeing from this team is they will even the series back up. But, I mean, really, I don't think that last goal mattered because Drakes, they looked completely flat in the last 6 seconds or so. They didn't really like they had much of a plan after that last 6-second goal got through. So I'm really hoping they don't just look completely flat in this third game and Orbit just runs away with it, because I think Drakes, they look so good in that game one. I really want to see him, figure things out, because if they don't find this game, I think it's timeout time where Orbit's going to run away with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that assertion. The way Orbit is known to play in these series, for one, and two, is absolutely living up to that right here and right now. It might be the move to take that tactical timeout, assuming the Drakes lose here. If the Drakes are able to pull out a win, moving to game number 4 on fire, but Diformia taking the early lead, barely 20 seconds gone before he finds his first one.
Diformia, I don't know how he just 50 through that man twice with one commit. He hits it off and bounces right back in his face, and he's like, "Okay, I guess I'll just go score because your third man is nowhere to be seen." And that's a lot of what we saw in like the last few seconds of that last game, where there's no third man, but he's cheated up so far that just leaves an open net. Is another one as the defense is just breaking down now, and Orbit's capitalizing every time.
And I'm questioning what's going on with the Drakes here. They went from playing so well to it seems like they're not communicating and not positioning correctly right now. You know, it's cost them 2 goals early in this game. The first 30 seconds, that is not a position that you want to be in, especially in game number 3. I know it's a 7 series, so it's more of a marathon here, but you know, like you pointed out, a loss here for the Drakes could be a major shift in momentum of the series.
Yeah, and it's not like Diformia just put two insanely slotted goals. He just hit two really open nets. One of the second one wasn't even placed that well. It was shot right at the defender, but it didn't matter because the rotation was so off track that really he was on front post on his way to get boost. Everything was just thrown off. But right now, they got to get onto the orbit half of the field because, I mean, DJD hasn't even really stepped in to intervene with the way this game is going right now. He's just letting Diformia go as DJD had an opportunity, but he hits it off the post, and a Diformia is off the crossbar in orbit. They should have gotten a goal there, but it's still just chaos on defense for Drakes.
Now, my goodness, back-to-back dropped opportunities for Orbit, though it's not going to matter. They still have a 2-point lead in this game.
Oh,
DJD missing another shot there. Reed putting it off the backboard. DJD can't get it through the defender, trying as he might. Koala there for the stop. Diformia sends it down out of the corner, looking for a pass, looking for a
oh my
doozy. And what is
gosh, what?
happening right now?
He just absolutely dusted one guy and gets the Doomsday. I think he goes for a flip reset, and I think he got it. I'm not sure what happened there. He got a little bit of help from the defender, but maybe the defender understands that a clip's a clip. You got to give it to the man. It's Diformia with 3 very interesting goals, really 2 minutes into this game already.
Yeah, the man is absolutely popping off, and no surprise in my opinion, as I've seen Diformia talked a lot about throughout the season being notably the hard carry of Orbit. Although Reed and DJD definitely good players, definitely holding their own, especially in this series. In the first 2 games, they were big players, but game 3 seems to be Diformia's game. He has toggled, if you will, and we are ending the first half of this game number 3. Orbit still up by 3. Drake's unable to find anything so far. Pred in the midfield. Reed going to take it away from him, send it out. Seuss is there. He sends it down. Seuss going to go ahead and try and follow in the corner. Waits for Reed's touch. Gets it past the defender. Pred's there, but Diformia bats it away. Koala not getting the touch he's looking for. Diformia gonna get demoed. Pred with the shot, or excuse me, Seuss with the shot. Pred trying to follow, and Seuss gonna follow that one as these two just murder the back of the wall.
I'm not sure where Diformia was heading there because he just looked like he was going to go for the ball Reed was already up for. And then at that point, it's too late. He's just awkward in the middle of the field. And it leaves a really tough position for DJD to make that save. And that's what we want to see here for Drakes is get Orbit very uncomfortable because they do seem to make a lot of breakdowns on defense if you don't just hand them free goals all the time. So, I mean, as you said, to your point, Diformia, he is well known to be probably the carry of this team. But to be fair, he hasn't really had to work too hard for these goals, and that was really the first goal we saw where the other team just outplayed their opponents. And I mean, Diformia, he's capable of so much more than he has to do right now. As a passing play, that's a beautiful pass, but it will be cleared away.
Wow, almost another clip for them. But Drakes do well to make the stop in the defensive zone. Diformia getting faked out a little bit by Pred there. Koala sends it back into his own corner. Trying to keep it away from Orbit. Pred pops it up over Reed. Koala's up. He makes the touch to send it down straight to Diformia. Diformia pops it up. Pred off the sidewall. Reed gonna touch it and send it back as we get a little ping pong action here from these two teams. Neither one able to generate very much offense. Oh my goodness. A double commit on offense and defense works out in favor of the Drakes there. Koala sends it off the side into the mid. Pred trying to get it. Koala pops it up, gonna leave it. Diformia sends it down. Seuss takes it into Orbit's defensive zone. DJD 50s with him in the corner, pinches out in favor of Orbit. Reed in the midfield. The final 40 seconds on the clock here. Do you think, Magic, that Drakes have what it takes to pull it back, or do you think that they're not going to be able to with the way they've played so far?
I mean, just as you said, it's a lot of ping pong and they're just really still possessions going on right now. And that's exactly what, I mean, if you're Orbit, that's what you want is Diformia. Another shot where he didn't have to do anything, but the goalie just whiffs and he'll take another one. That will probably seal up this game. As, I mean, he's right, two people right there and neither one of them can find the touch.
And Diformia just letting the Drakes play themselves throughout this game. And now they have a commanding 3-point lead with 20 seconds left on the clock. Pretty much impossible at this point for the Drakes to make a comeback. They just got to put this game behind them mentally and move on to the next one as the final 10 seconds wind down. Koala's up, trying to send it away. And he does. Pred helping him out. The final second here as the ball only needs to touch for Orbit to officially take game number 3 and go up 2-1 in the series. There you have it. Moving into game 4, they have the momentum here, Magic.
Yeah, and if I'm in the comms right now for Drakes, it's got to be a timeout here because they didn't really make Orbit do anything to win that game. We spent the entire game on the Drake side of the field, and when we finally got to the Orbit side of the field, it was a very quick rotational error and just left one person in net and an easy goal. So the Drakes have to stop banging the ball away when they get it, and they need to take their time. I don't know if that's a comms issue, but they have to communicate when they have space to work with because a lot of their possessions were thrown away and it just kept them in a really an endless cycle of Orbit just getting free shots on goal. And they finished the game with 11 and with only 5 on the other side, so that can't be the case because Orbit's not playing insanely well, but the Drakes, they're just beating themselves at this point.
Yeah, as you said, Orbit with 11 shots, 8 of which came from Diformia. He was able to convert half of his shots into goals, even took a save. 737 score. That man absolutely popped off during that match. But like you said, he sort of didn't. All Diformia really had to do was put a shot on net. It didn't matter if it was a hard shot, good shot, bad placement, and the Drakes just sort of let it go in. So hopefully in this game number 4, we'll see a different defense from the Drakes here.
Yeah, and I can say all I want about Diformia's shots not being pretty. He got the job done and he put him on target, and that's all you have to do when the Drakes are just giving you the opportunity to do so. And I mean, an early demo comes out, that leaves a 1-on-2. So if a demo can be found, it's another demo. Diformia is just wiping Seuss off the field, and DJD is going to get the first one really early on.
And good heads-up play from Diformia there, getting in front of his teammate, getting the demo for him, clearing the path. DJD getting the goal right there. First 15 seconds, starting things off for Orbit. Orbit coming out hot, looking to go into match point off of a win here and secure their spot in the grand finals. Diformia with the air dribble, tries to get the flip reset, but can't get it past Pred. Koala sends it down. Pred going to be looking for the redirect. Puts it in front. Seuss is there, and what a play from the Drakes to equalize things.
That's the team that we expected to see. Koala probably was not happy when he saw what was going on that backboard, but it does work out as Seuss is going to finish off the play. But even that, if that doesn't go in the back of the net, that is 3 people committed for 1 goal. And if that's what they have to do to find the back of the net, I'm down for it. But that is a very risky strategy. But at this point, you need something to change. I do like the change of pace, and it will tie this game back up.
We'll see if they can keep that pace or if Orbit is going to shut them down and get another goal here, retake the lead. As we see the ball in the Drakes half, Seuss trying to get it out. And the ball bounces up. Pred missing his touch in the midfield. Koala's there, but he's going to be patient. Leave it for DJD. That was almost dangerous, but Koala was able to make the stop. Diformia looking for the shot, but can't find it. The ball gets cleared out. Seuss is there. He pops it up off the backboard, looking for a bump. He gets the demo on Reed. Pred is there, but he can't find the angle, and Diformia going to clear it to the mid. Koala with the catch, but he misses the second touch. Bounces it off the backboard, trying to get the back pass to Pred. He finds Pred up to Seuss. Seuss off the backboard, can't find the second touch. Pred off the backboard to the mid Diformia to pop it up. And we are definitely seeing a different Drake's team here, Magic, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I am not looking for a 5-game series right here, and I don't think the Drakes are either. As Koala, he's the guy that leads the charge every single time they get a goal. That is a very awkward situation, but Reed makes the best of it. But you're completely right. This is not the team we saw in the last couple games. They have seemed to calm down a lot, and there's a lot more. These possessions are not just pointless throw the ball away kind of situations. They're making a lot more smart touches and keeping possession. And I mean, even for a tie game at this point, this far into this game, that's an improvement for the Drakes because they were letting some easy goals slip in for Diformia, and we haven't seen any of those so far in this game.
Very true, very true. They seem to have cleaned up the sloppy defense that they had in game number 3, thankfully, as it gives them a fighting chance here against this dominating Orbit team. Pred getting the bounce off the side. Koala can't find his touch as he's going to go over the ball. Reed pops it up. Pred takes it away. Diformia in the mid up to Seuss, who sends it back to the mid. DJD bangs it all the way across. Diformia almost finding a sneaky shot, but the defender gets in front of him. Koala looking for the bump, finds the bump. Seuss looking for a pass out to the mid. Koala's there, he puts it on, but DJD on the goal line with a big save, keeping it out, keeping this scoreline tied at 1. And we are under the 2-minute mark here in game number 4. And Magic, I mean, do you feel like Drakes have the edge here? I kind of feel like they're putting Orbit on their heels here.
I don't know what you're talking about. This isn't the Drakes. These are some new guys on the field from last game. This is not the same team. They look so much more comfortable, especially when they have possession of the ball. They're not just panicking. And another one right there is Seuss takes the time to just beat the guy challenging instead of just, I don't know, going for a 50 right there. And with a minute left to go in this game, you're completely right. It is all Drake's pressure. I mean, they finally figured out if you get onto the Orbit side of the field, it's easy to stay there if you make really some, high effort touches and keep the ball in. So right now, as the last minute rolls around, you can see it Orbit. They're kind of just scrambling on defense at all times as they're attacking the backboard now. And Seuss at the shot, and he's going to find the read. A dime from Pred, and that's the real Drake's team we saw coming.
Yeah, and Orbit just doesn't seem to be able to stop these backboard passes. So as long as Drakes are able to find each other off the backboard here, which they have done quite well in game number 4, they're not only going to maintain the lead, but they might even be able to make a comeback in this series. As Pred cheats up on the kickoff, gets the touch, keeps it from Reed. Reed trying to get it out, but Seuss dunks him. DJD's up, he misses his touch. This is dangerous. Diformia is back and sends it away. Diformia slowing things down in the midfield. DJD run. Oh my goodness. What a play from Orbit.
That is just toxic, DJD. You can't do that to people. He just cleared 3 people off the field by himself. Diformia just has to follow the leader and slot it into the net. That is Twitter worthy right there if I've ever seen it.
And it looked to me like DJD didn't even touch any of the defenders. He just drove in their general direction and put the fear of God in those boys.
That's like when Tom Brady's going for a block, everybody gets out the way, whether or not the block's going to be good. And that's what we saw right there. The respect for DJD was so high that he just cleared the path.
And the final 15 seconds here, we are tied up. We might see our first overtime of the series. The final 10 seconds. Drake still having most of the pressure here as Pred puts it down, and the ball is still up. 1 second left. Drake's might have a final shot here. Pred missing the touch to keep it up, and we have overtime in game number 4, Pepperoni.
Yeah, and Orbits, they're being forced to earn these goals now instead of these weak little ones that roll into the net. They have 2 hard-earned goals right now, and they're both coming off of bumps as a really bad redirect comes on the own goal. And Koala, he's going to take advantage of that one, and the Drakes will tie the series up.
Drakes with a big win right there, and an unfortunate mistake from Orbit to give them that win. But they are going to tie up the series 2-2 as we move into game number 5, arguably the most important game of this series. The winner of game number 5 will go into a match point.
Yeah, and I think that Orbit is going to take advantage of a lot of these. They have opportunities to clear the ball, and they're kind of panicking, and they're sending a lot of double commits that just ends up rolling the ball off the wall. And there's a Drake's player just waiting for it on the wall. So, going into this game 5, I do think Orbit probably should be favored because after we saw that game 1 where they got, just completely outclassed, they came back firing and won the next 2. So, I mean, my original series prediction looks like it's holding up, and I do think Orbit should be able to take the next 2, unless we can see that same Drake's team. But I don't know, the bump plays that we saw come out from DJD, they're gonna be a lot to handle. The Drakes, they have to be ready for the physical play style that Orbit's throwing their way.
Yeah, I think if Orbit can take back control of the offensive pressure like they did in game 2 and game 3, that they should be able to make mincemeat of the Drakes defense. But if the Drakes are able to keep their offensive pressure alive like they did in game 1 and game 4, then, it's almost anybody's game at this point. Magic Pepperoni, I think it's just going to boil down to whichever team can sustain the offense.
Yeah, I think you're right. In that last game, it was pretty much all Drake's. But right there, DJD, I mean, he gets away with one because he's trying to pass it to the other team at that point. But I mean, the first couple, well, I should say games 2 and 3, Orbit just suffocated the defense of the Drakes. But in that last game, it was completely different. They flipped the script on Orbit. And in this game, you can probably tell who's going to win the game by who has the early pressure. And we do find ourselves on the Drake side of the field as that one is almost slotted, but we saved away and the demo comes through, but the defense will stand strong.
And Orbit assaulting Drake's net right now. Drake's holding strong on the defensive line, keeping the ball out, keeping us at a scoreless match. Zeus gonna rotate out, gets the mid boost. Reed sends it down. Koala off his own backboard. It's an awkward touch, not able to really follow it. Pred makes the save, gets the ball out. Koala puts it out to the mid, trying to find Zeus. DJD is going to break things up a little bit as Reed starts an offensive push for Orbit. Diformia missing his touch. DJD trying to get it through the defender, but Koala clears it off the backboard up to Pred, who redirects it across. Reed taking control here, trying to beat out 2 defenders. Koala not going to let him. DJD puts it up. Diformia can't find the touch. Reed's touch is going to go too high, bounce off of the crossbar, and Orbit is going to lose their chance at scoring a goal there, Magic.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't get counterattacked a lot because they threw everything there. I think 2 people went for that second shot, and I think Diformia put it off the crossbar. So we've seen a lot of accuracy from Diformia and DJD thus far in the series, but that was a much-needed spot of accuracy, and they couldn't find it. And really, the demos that came through really slowed down the game enough for them to recover. Otherwise, that probably would have been a goal for the Drakes, but we still find ourselves 3 minutes left to go in this game. At a tie game, but a double whiff does come through, and a lot of space to work with here, but it will be taken care of. As, I mean, right now, I can't tell who's winning this game, Psycho.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty even. Both teams doing a really good job of breaking up each other's offensive pressure, not allowing much sustained offense from either side. And I think that's really important in this game, in this series against these guys, because both of these seem to be offensive powerhouses, but they also seem to be a little bit on the weaker side in their defensive abilities.
I completely agree, and we do end up finding ourselves back in the Drake side of things a lot of times here, so I think the midfield presence is superior right now for Orbit, and that might end up being what gets them the win, but right now, Koala is just being a force on defense, Pred the same way. These guys are racking up saves left and right, so that's what you love to see, especially when they let so many goals go through. And that I think it was game 3. They like 5 goals go through, so they finally figured things out. And we're seeing a different team here in these last couple of games.
Yeah, game 3 had me really scared for the Drakes. I was really worried that was pretty much going to be the end of their playoff run. But they impressed me in game number 4, and they're trying to do it again here in game number 5 as we wind down. 1:40 left on the clock. Zeus putting it into the mid, but DJD with the clear. Koala sends it all the way back. Koala looking for the double touch, can't find it off of the backboard. Diformia missing his touch, but able to recover, get it up to DJD in the mid. This could be dangerous, but Zeus with a good save. Reed to send it back. Koala's there, 50s with Diformia. Pred gotta get it out, and he does. And he's able to follow it, but he's not able to do anything once he gets down into orbit with the ball. Reed trying to find the touch. It sends all the way to the mid. Seuss out of orbit's corner, can't find it again. Diformia clears the ball. 1 minute remaining. Diformia to DJD in the mid, and Orbit gonna take the lead in the final minute of Game 5.
That's just a good counterattack right there. Diforme, he gets a booming clear and stays with it. And he stays with it enough to be able to get one more to squeeze it into the midfield. And DJD, he's waiting, arms open, and he's going to get a free one as Orbit. That is a crucial goal. Because I was thinking this game was going OT, and we had like a long 5-minute OT ahead of us. But not at that rate as Orbit finally gets us a goal in this game.
Yeah, and that goal might have been the only one that was needed. Seuss almost finding a goal for himself to tie things up, but unable to. Diformia almost finding a second one. His shot gonna bounce off of the post. Diformia with a good dunk on Seuss there to keep his offensive pressure down. Koala off the sidewall. The final 30 seconds. Trying to find his teammate. Pred pops it up. Diformia gonna take control in the air. Koala missing his touch, and Pred almost letting that one get by, but he gets in front of it. Koala, this is the last chance right here in the final 10 seconds. Drakes have to find the back of the net here off the backboard. This could be it. DJD with not a good touch. Seuss missing his chance, and Orbit gonna take game number 5. That hurts so bad.
Orbit just had the guts to fake 3 times in front of their own net with 0 seconds. And I don't know if that was the play, but it got into the head of Seuss, who will not find the goal to send it to overtime. And I mean, the pattern is continuing. As soon as Orbit drops the game, they just completely lock up on defense in the next couple. And it's got to be on the Drakes. I honestly think you need to use your timeout. You don't want to let it go unused and find yourself losing, a 4-2 style. So, but they're not going to take it. They're going to hop right into the next game, and if that comes back to bite them, you'll hate to see it. But I do like the confidence. But Orbit's defense is so solid right now, and they're just attacking the Drake's net. I mean, it's hard to score if you're the Drakes if you're always on defense. So they need to do what they did in that last game and clean things up and get some better touches.
Yeah, it's very true, and the Drakes better hope that history is not going to repeat itself right here, because the pattern, like you brought up, is Drakes orbit Drakes orbit, which means if it does continue, the next game is going to be taken by Orbit, and they'll be sending Drakes home. Drakes desperately have to win this match right here. This game is the most important game of the Drake season, having come from, I believe, the 8th seed or the 9th seed in the play-ins, working their way into the playoffs and having a great run all the way to the semis here. Would hate to see it end. We'll see if Orbit is going to do just that and shut the Drakes down, or if the Drakes can make a comeback here in game number 6. Reed in the corner. Seuss keeps it away from the Drake's net. Koala can't find the pass. DJD down to Pred. Pred in his own corner. Diformia sending it out to the mid. Nobody from Orbit there to look for the pass. Seuss gets it past one. Trying to get it past DJD. But Diformia takes it out of the corner. Diformia trying to follow it. Can't get it through Koala and Pred to clear it all the way to the other side. And almost a minute gone so far here, Magic Pepperoni. And it's looking very, very similar to the last game where we didn't see the first goal until almost, I think, 4 minutes had gone by.
Yeah, and I am not liking what I'm seeing from the Drakes here. Every time they cross midfield and they're set up to go on offense, they just let the ball get away from them, and they let the ball just get hit right back into their defensive zone. And they're just really letting, honestly, Diformia run the pace of these games right now. And Orbit, they can do no wrong when the Drakes are just giving you all the space in the world. And that is a great read by Diformia. But you can see the confidence this man is playing with right now, and just doing so much pressure on this team is an incredible save by Fred to keep it scoreless. But I do think you're right. We might have another, 1-goal deciding game on our hands here, Psycho.
Yeah, if Drakes are lucky, because Orbit is really, really turning up the heat right now. Reed almost finding a huge dunk right there, but Drake's going to keep it out. DJD bouncing it off the backboard, but nobody from Orbit in the mid. Diformia to send it to the mid. Pred sends it down. Reed sends it to the side. Pred coming out of Orbit's corner. Reed off the backboard. This could be dangerous for Orbit. Koala putting one on, but Diformia able to stop it. DJD making a big save as Seuss put a heater on from the midfield. Koala pops it up to Seuss. Diformia to take it away from him and clear it out. Diformia can't recover to get a shot on net as we enter the second half of game number 6 here. Reed with the long ball, but Pred making the stop and getting his savior medal. But I got to say, Magic Pepperoni, I think this game is still looking in favor of Orbit. Drakes have not been able to secure very much offensive pressure.
And they're just gasping for air at this point. So the pressure does not relent. And they do finally get, hopefully, an extended offensive push here. But you can see that's what I've been talking about. They just let the ball slip away every time they find themselves on offense. It's not any passes, nothing off the backboard. It's kind of just leaving the ball in the midfield after one touch. At Orbit, they just get possession right back, and they have no stress on defense. And they're just worried about trying to get shots on target. Because right now they're just piling them up, sitting at 5 already. And I mean, it's not like these are bad shots. It's good defense, but it's a lot of panicky defense diving for saves at the last possible moment. So, I mean, if this game does find its way into OT, the Drakes are going to have to sneak this game away because right now, Orbit, they just look like they have all the pressure in the world.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They definitely are putting the hurting on the Drakes, even though the Drakes holding strong enough to keep the ball out of the net, but Reed's there, can't find the touch to send it in. And Pred trying to slow things down in his backfield a little bit. DJD gets the bounce off the sidewalk. Koala's there to clear the ball out. Diformia puts it back to the mid. Pred coming off of the ceiling, gets the touch to send it on, and Reed with a huge save as Pred almost gets a mechanical goal. The final 45 seconds of this game, still at a 0-0 scoreline. Reed gonna get a demo on Pred. That was probably the most awkward demo I've seen in this match. Diformia puts one on net. Koala's there to make the stop and also picking up his savior medal. In the final 30 seconds, we still at 0-0. Diformia comes out of the corner. Pred to put one on. It's going to bounce off the crossbar. Koala can't get the read. Seuss off the backboard, but Pred decided to rotate and get back on defense. In the final 10 seconds, Seuss with the touch. This could be it. Koala's going to find the back of the net and take the lead for the Drakes. 3 seconds left on the clock.
And just moments ago, it looked like it was going to be the other way around as the counterattack was coming through. But a nice beat to one of the balls in the midfield sets up the counterattack of their own, and the Drakes, they're gonna put their goal in with 3 seconds left to go. And it looks like it will not get up the wall in time. And that's exactly what we need to see from Drake. Squeak that game away from Orbit and find yourself in a crucial Game 7 because there's a spot in the grand finals on the line here, Psycho, and the intensity is starting to pile up. And I think we have a low-scoring affair really ahead of us heading into the Game 7 here.
Yes, sir. Hats off to Drake's able to push this thing into a Game 7 and give us quite the spicy meatball as far as this match goes here in the Challenger League. All of both of these teams' seasons now rides on this singular game. Diformia calling the tactical timeout. He's going to take the extra 60 seconds after this in-between match lobby to get his team together, get their minds in the right place. They were playing great that entire game, had all the pressure, everything that they needed, but they couldn't get it through the Drake's defensive line. And yeah, Drake's ended up taking it right there in the end. Like that's quintessential to winning this series.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm on the Drakes, I'm calling my timeout here too, just to troll them. Because I mean, you're going to Game 7. Once this game's over, that timeout's no use. So maybe you just throw it out there. I'm not sure if we can have back-to-back timeouts. I don't think we've gotten to that situation before, but that'd be a sight to see. But I do like the call by Orbit to take a timeout after most games they're able to find the back of the net. And that one, they went scoreless. They could not seem to figure out what was going on, and they had pressure probably the entire game. I think it was like a 95 to 5%. You know which side of the field we were on. It was pretty much all Orbit, but it doesn't matter if you cannot put meaningful shots on because the Drakes they're just flying back and forth making saves, and you should have been able to capitalize if you're Orbit. They could not do so, and they do be forced into a game seven. And if I'm Orbit, I am really nervous about this game because the Drakes have been able to hold you to one goal in 2 games straight, or one goal in 2 games combined. So we're gonna have to see if they can figure out the scoring because that was a very low scoring affair for back-to-back games.
Yeah, and I would say Drake's definitely have figured out how to sort of cut the momentum off from Orbit. As soon as it seems like they're getting things going, they're holding the lead, they're holding the pace, and then all of a sudden Drake's come out of nowhere and throw a wrench in their plans. As we enter into game 7 here, we'll see if the Drakes are able to continue with the momentum from game number 6 win, or if Orbit is going to shut them down, send them home. One of these teams is going on to the grand finals to face off against Venom on Saturday night. Which team will it be? Orbit or the Drakes? Diformia trying to get cleared. Does get the ball cleared off. Oh my
Ooh.
goodness. Doesn't just get it cleared, but finds the back of the net.
The Drakes have been expecting these slow shots that they've been seeing in these last 2 games, and that is not a slow shot. That is a beautiful use of his flip to get all the power in the world and just barely squeak it under the crossbar. That is the first real meaningful goal I've seen from Orbit in a long time, and of course it comes from Diformia.
Of course it does. I'm expecting big things from Diformia here. Reed, or excuse me, DJD with a big shot right there. You see Diformia trying to get the bumps on the defenders, but the Drakes hold strong and keep the ball out of their net. Koala banging it all the way across. Diformia in his own corner. Pumps it out. Pred trying to put it off the backboard, but Reed finds the touch, sends it away. Koala off the backboard. Diformia gets the clearing touch, but Seuss trying to keep the pressure alive for the Drakes. Koala rotates. Reed gets the ball, tries to get it to the mid, bounces off and in between Seuss and gets pinched out of the Drake's box. Pred finds the 50 with DJD. Koala trying to help him out. The double goes in their favor. Seuss in the midfield gets an awkward touch, pops it up for Koala, almost finds the redirect off Pred's car, and Seuss puts it out to the mid. Nobody from Drake's there to capitalize on a shot. Pred finding
Oh
the
my
pass and putting
gosh.
it down, almost finds the bottom left corner, but just barely misses. We've got about 3 minutes left on the clock here, Magic Pepperoni. Drake's still down by 1.
Ooh.
Excuse me, Drake's tying things up at 1.
What are these passing plays we're seeing all of a sudden? We haven't seen more than one the entire series. Now we get back to back, and Koala, he's not missing that. He is certified in the shooting department. We've seen that all series, and he's gonna tie it up with 3 minutes left to go. And this game 7 is giving us everything we could ask for because both teams they're not playing slow. They're playing like they want this game and they want that grand finals appearance.
Yeah, this is the situation I live for right here, Magic Pepperoni. Game number 7, about 2 minutes 45 seconds, 2 minutes 30 seconds left on the clock, tied up at 1. I mean, it can even be tied up at 0. This is just fantastic Rocket League. I'm just hoping and praying these guys push this into OT. Give us a long OT. Give us the content. These two just monsters battling it out here in the semifinals. Diformia with the shot, but Seuss gonna make the save, get his savior medal in game 7 here. DJD finds Diformia. Diformia sends it down off the backboard, finds the second touch, and
Oh
it's
my
gonna bounce off the
gosh.
post and go in. I think that's the second or third time he scored like that.
And I don't know if I've seen a more accurate shooter than Diformia in a long time. How does he find this angle? He's the only guy on the field. Maybe Koala finds that shot, but Diformia, everybody knows what he's capable of, and he is keeping Orbit afloat, and that is really a crucial goal right now because they haven't been able to find much pressure other than these random goals they keep sneaking in. And right there, that's a big one as Diformia is just attacking the net And this is a hell of a script here by Rockerman. I'm loving this game 7 so far.
Yeah, hats off to Rocker, man. It takes a lot of time and effort to write out something this amazing, and then to see it just come to fruition is just brings a tear to my eye. Seuss in the corner trying to get it out. Reed gets the clear. Minute 40 left on the clock. Koala with the 50 against Reed. Pred gonna take it away from him. Koala in the midfield can't get it through. Diformia. Seuss out of the Drake's corner. Gonna get bumped off so he can't follow the ball. Koala 50s with DJD. Pred pops it up, but immediately is bumped off. Can't follow. Seuss is up there, but his touch goes wide. Pred off the backboard. DJD to clear it out of Orbit's zone. Diformia trying to get it through. Koala with an unfortunate touch, but Seuss is there to help him out, clear the ball away. DJD to send it back. Reed looking for it, but can't find the redirect there. A minute left on the clock here. Diformia might have just put the dagger in with that one, Magic Pepperoni.
Yeah, DJD does all he has to. He just forces Koala. He baits out the demo. Little does Koala know the ball's waiting for him on the other side of that smoke. And he just dimes up Diformia for his third goal. And this man is as clutch as it gets as Orbit takes a 2-goal lead in the last minute.
And Drake's absolutely need to find the back of the net soon, and Seuss almost doing just that, but couldn't get up to Pred's pass quick enough to capitalize on the event. Pred keeping the pressure alive for the Drakes. Unfortunately, not able to find the second touch off the wall. Koala gets the dunk, pops it up, but Diformia is there to clear it away. Pred in an awkward position.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunate Diformia with a monster read on Pred right there.
Man, I like what Pred's trying to do here, but because he understands that he's last back, he has to take control of that ball and keep it back in his possession, but he just dimes up Diformia. Diformia has no fear. He has 6 shots and 4 goals. This guy goes for a shot, he's probably putting it in the net, and that might be the dagger for the Drake season. As Orbit, they're looking ready to go to the grand finals in just a few days, and Venom, I mean, what I've seen so far, Venom has some competition on the other side of the field from them because Diformia is peaking and in his prime, and the guys around him are making it happen.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more. But I gotta say, with the way Venom's been performing in these playoffs and throughout the season, it's going to be a fantastic grand finals to see Orbit go up against Venom. Venom being last season's champion. They made a run all the way from seed 10 in the play-ins and ran all the way to the grand finals and took that win. That was a big win for Venom, and now they're back in the grand finals again in season number 6. Orbit now going to face up against them as they secure the win here against the Drakes tonight in a game number 7. I couldn't have asked for a better matchup here, Magic Pepperoni.
Yeah, and these 7-game series or long series are killing our schedule right now, so we're already running late for the next one. But shout out to the Drakes; they gave us a hell of a series, and they're the 7 seed, and they made them work for it on the Orbit side of things. So, but I mean, either way, when Diformia is on the other side shooting like that, it's going to be a hard ask to take the series. But they do bring it to 7, and I'm excited for the rest of this night, Psycho.
Yes, sir. Most certainly am. And as you pointed out, we are running a little bit behind schedule. I appreciate you joining me in the booth here. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of minutes. You need to use the bathroom, get a drink or a snack. Whenever we come back, we're going to be heading back into the Titan League to see the big boys, number 2 Venganza versus the number 3 Reapers. It is going to be a fire matchup, I promise you. Bubs, Arrow, Dog, all these guys fixing to be popping off. We'll be right back.